Grand Rise. Still going. Uh, Working on Incremental Science 10. Let y'all check this out real quick. This one I call is Divine Reflection. We're going to get into this in a minute. Incremental Science 10. We're going to talk about all the little nuances and what this illustration means to me. Yeah, I put a lot of time into this yesterday. So I hope y'all ready. Incremental Science 10. In ways I think. We're not going to say this is factual, because how do I know this, right? We're not going to even go down that path, because people are like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's fine. I don't care, but let's theorize, okay? If you don't mind. And welcome me for a minute. Y'all got to excuse me. My hair is popping out a little crazy this morning. I ain't wrapped my jaw right. I had to, whatever. We'll talk about it in another one. But yeah, so this is my ideal. This is my ideal to a theory of reality. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to just vibe with me, I'll walk you through it. These are reflection generators in three different dimensions. More than that, this is just to illustrate the value of what I'm saying. It's not to say that divine is creating two, and then that it's not like that. This is just the idealistic value of what I'm trying to get across to you. So from the ether, from the darkness of all things, the main being, divine, the omni being, divine presence, his whole being is a jewel. His whole being gives off a source of energy that, when reflected through another creation of the reflection aspect, creates split the value of divine, which are omni beings, divine beings, omni beings. These beings follow the same retrospect as their creator, okay? And it could be millions of them, right? But in that synapses, they're giving off the reflection energy into another reflection generator. And that aspect is also doing the same thing. But if you notice, these are not omni beings as close to this. The farther you get away, the more you hold a resonant value of spirituality on a high scale, but not as high as where you came from. So these would be chrism beings. These are chrism beings. These are the ones who mastered the Christ mentality. These are the ones who have locked in the sacred oil to the fact to where they're sustained off that living. This is the reason why they have a halo. They have a halo because heaven was the head set above the shoulders, and the shoulders is the place that you deem to have the separate value from the physical understanding. So if you can master the chrism in the head, you have no connection to the physical world at that point. You rise to this aspect. This is why you see halos around their heads. This is me giving you a diagram. And then from that aspect, they're still following. If you watch, everybody's facing the same direction. They're facing the same direction because they're going through the crystal or the reflection. But when we get to us, right? When we get to us, the mass collection, notice that they're facing the reflections. We're facing them. They're not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not facing us. We're facing them. So we're looking back through the reflection. And the big thing about this that actually stuck out to me when I was actually doing this, and it was just like, it was coming into fruition while I was doing it. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that's interesting, because we all are really like this. Like, at the most part, we're looking at where the reflection comes from instead of taking that energy from the reflection and becoming a source for something lower than us, right? So they can have something to look forward to, and then they can get that energy and understand the replication. We're not doing that. We don't have enough. We don't have enough security to stand with our back turns. With our back turned to things, like we deal with the physicality of things, fear, untrust, and all these things. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to turn your back. You know what I'm saying? And shine the light, because you don't have that connection of reality of a fortuitive growth for yourself in that aspect. It's like, if I turn around, something's gonna happen to me. Yeah, because you're physical. Unbeknownst to you, you're more in the range of what you're created as. It's just that these energies are constantly being strengthened. These creations are already created. This energy is never going to stop. It's a forward motion. It's a forward motion. The divine is all everlasting. They never going nowhere. Forward motion. So all this energy is going to keep reflecting down. We, as a mass collective, a mass collection of people, need to turn around. We need to take this energy and let it warm us up from the back through and shine forward. This is unconditional love. This is unconditional love. When you shine so strong, you become the source energy for lesser value things than yourself. Has nothing to do with materialistic understanding. Has everything to do with understanding your connection from where you came. This is why everybody reach out to the divine for everything, because divine has everlasting energy, and you get tired. You already know the vibes. We're gonna take a quick little break, and we're gonna get back into this. Pause.
A few moments later.
And see, for me, like, we look up in the night sky and we see things. I've been looking at the sun for a long time. I should stare directly at the sun. The things people show you on the outside value of what they can pick up, the little things moving around. And everybody wants to put some type of circumference on mysticism value. Look, I think and I believe the original beings that were here, the first reflection, who landed here before we end up being coalesced from this energy, I believe they went back here. I believe after they turned their backs and became, solar sources themselves to give life to us, because keep in mind, these are our ancestors. We're looking up at them like, yo, we need you to help us, our ancestors. No, they're already passed on. They went back. And to keep it 100, I have this thing to where it's just something deep down inside of me. I believe that everybody who dies with a good heart or a light heart, clean soul, whatever have you, I believe they go into the sun. That's just my own understanding. I believe they go into the sun, and the sun is a whole nother place where you can live, but you can only live there when your chrism is risen at this highest aspect. That's why the sun give off golden energy, the same color as the chrism. It's like your body, your blood changes into the chrism. So now you're a completely different being. The more you rise that chrism, the more the oxidation of life just comes out of you, and you become a higher being, because your whole intricate system is filled with the chrism. The chrism oil. This is a Christ being. So at that point, what are you going to be here for? Nothing physical serves you at all. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to breathe. You don't need to do nothing. You know what you're going to do? Walk right off the earth. And you're looking at the Dogons. Dogons like, yo, we walked here. They like, how you walked here? At one point, they had to be higher beings. Their ancestors had to be higher beings to bring them here, because they knew the descent was coming. They knew they had to reflect on something. The descent was coming. So they's like, yo, we're going to put our lower levels there. But they remember because the connection was real. So they're like, yo, we walked there. Yeah, that goes over everybody's head because you want to see it happen in the physical. No, what's going to happen is, if that real chrism got hot up, it's like it's like a gas. It's like an oil, like the strongest oil for your car or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the chrism oil. It's going to keep going up. Imagine filling, and I tell you, this is all theory. Don't quote me on any of this. Imagine filling every single ventricle in your body up with that. You don't produce blood no more. Your heart pump chrism oil. Facts. And your whole body is that. You become a light being for real. You don't have no sustainable energy for anything else here. Your physical body needs nothing here from this earth at that point. You have risen at that point. And I believe when that takes place, this is the reason why they don't document it and show us how people, rise in a good light. I believe what happens is they go back to the sun, and they be the ones that turn around and be like, y'all ain't about to do this. The seeds is planted. They got to come through. And that be the destruction in the air. That be all that other crazy stuff we be seeing, or we think we know what's going on. No, it's balancing out the fact of what you should be, I think. Don't quote me on none of this. Like I said, just a theory. Something I'm thinking about. Pause.
2,000 years later.
Now, I mentioned in one of the other incremental sciences that when you rise, you become a different type of mineralist being. And I stated that the beings above us are not the crystal clear beings. And as I was doing this illustration, it let me see that the next level you start to really break away from the physical understanding and you become the universal beings. Either way, how it's sent out is the same way it comes back. Divine sends it out universally, even if it breaks down to this way, but when it comes back, it's still going back in the same direction. It's just that understanding that we have to strengthen the feel of the descent. So even though that we are here, we should be in the characteristic or quality of all beings who shine light down to us through the reflection process. So instead of us getting dogmatic about what religion is this, or what spirituality is this, or what happened, or who said this, or who walked where, or who did this, or who did this person wrong, or what was a hoe, and all this, before we get into all that bull crap, how about you look at the situation at hand, the overall aspect, and know that there are higher beings even within the level of where we are right now, in between here and here. There are beings that are higher right in between here that are already passing through to transcend. Everything is incremental. You have different beings in between here before they get here, in between here before they get here. Like there are a numerous amount of creations that divine don't play with, but it goes over our heads because we don't know the value, and the value is to shine as the reflection comes. Amasu enpa entra sauk su eminra empa entra awu o awu ra maketi pa heru ra. Keep yourself for the divine. Keep yourself daily for the divine, and do it tomorrow as you do it today. Naga.